Concerned the SaskPower rate hike could financially drain small businesses. SaskPower strikes agreement with an Indigenous-run solar power project. And producers keep a close eye on how these warm temperatures could impact the spring melt.
Live from our studios in Regina, this is CTV News.
Good evening. Business advocates are voicing what they call serious concerns with SaskPower's proposed rate hike. They have penned a letter to the province's rate review panel, warning a hike of this magnitude could be detrimental to small businesses. Donovan May says more.
The Canadian Federation of Independent Business says the province's small business community is facing an uncertain economic future, and a proposed rate hike from SaskPower will only add to that strain.
They've recently seen insurance premiums skyrocket. They're dealing with increased labor and occupancy costs, and not to mention massive price volatility.
Now, this comes after the Crown announced it is seeking a 3.9% rate increase this February and an additional 3.9% hike in February 2027. The increases still need approval from the rate review panel, but the CFIB is already warning of its implications, saying in a letter to the panel, further increases, even when described as modest, compound financial strain many businesses simply cannot afford. Adding, for small businesses and farms operating on tight margins, interim increase creates immediate cost pressure and uncertainty, shifting financial risk onto ratepayers.
Be transparent and accountable as to where these funds are going, why the increase is necessary. Are they using the cost-effective manners that we would expect to see?
In response to CTV News, the province says it has made decisions ensuring Saskatchewan businesses have an affordable and reliable power system while prioritizing the energy security of our province, while the rate review panel did not respond to our request for comment regarding CFIB's concerns by deadline. Pending approval from the rate review panel, SaskPower plans to implement its new rates February 1st, while CFIB hopes for further discussion and consultation for future hikes moving forward. Donovan May, CTV News, Regina.
While there is a lot of focus on the proposed SaskPower rate hike, the Crown Corporation was focusing today on adding new energy sources to the grid. As Damian Smith reports, they signed an agreement with an Indigenous-run solar power project.
Pen to paper makes it official for the construction of a 100-megawatt solar project called Gaza. The facility will be located in the municipality of La Jourde, 45 minutes southeast of Regina.
Southern Saskatchewan, southern Alberta have the best solar resource in all of Canada. It's an excellent solar resource, some of the best in the region.
And the project will be 50% Indigenous owned by the Anishinaabe Power Alliance.
Generate economic wealth in terms of creating employment resources as well, infrastructure. We want to bridge those gaps, those relationships, and of course, economic prosperity is on everyone's agenda.
According to SaskPower, the solar farm will be able to power 32,000 homes and will be the cheapest power in the province.
So we've seen, as part of the 700 megawatts, the cost per megawatt plus interconnections at about $90 a megawatt hour. And I can tell you that this project that we announced today is the lowest cost power out of all of our solar procurements.
When construction starts in 2027, Neoen looks to hire 350 people, with 75% of them being Indigenous.
Are working with the Gabriel Dumont Institute, the First Nation Employment Center, and SIIT to really figure out how can we hire people, how can we train people, and how can we not only create jobs for this project, but have them then work in the growing solar industry in Western Canada.
According to SaskPower, Gaza is going to be one of the larger facilities across Saskatchewan and is expected to be complete by 2028. Damian Smith, CTV News, Regina.
The Saskatchewan Environmental Society says it's disappointed in a new court decision to dismiss its legal challenge against keeping coal power operating past the federally mandated shutdown in 2030. Several environmental advocacy groups, including SES, launched the legal challenge last year in response to the province's plans to keep traditional coal plants operating until at least as late as 2050. The extended operation is meant to help Saskatchewan bridge the gap to nuclear energy. According to the Environmental Society, the court dismissed the application on the grounds that it was not an issue for the courts to decide. A Regina man has been charged with access to child sexual abuse and exploitation material along with extortion. The man had posed as a teenage girl and convinced a 15-year-old boy from Ontario to send a nude selfie. He then extorted the victim for money. 25-year-old Manachi Suzera Anuka was charged on January 13th and set to appear in court again on January the 29th. After investigation, Regina Fire and Protective Services have determined the blaze at Country Corner Donuts was accidental, caused by a commercial appliance failure. Fire crews arrived at the establishment around 5 in the morning on Monday. The owner was already there trying to extinguish the flames. Crews were able to get the fire under control quickly. There was significant smoke damage, although fire damage was confined to where the blaze started. Above seasonal temperatures are happening all across southern Saskatchewan. As Mick Favel tells us, the freeze-thaw cycle can be a concern for sidewalks and roads.
Pavement and puddles, a common sight in Regina and parts of southern Saskatchewan, unusual but welcome for some in mid-January. The above normal temperatures are encouraging more people to get outside.
I think we're really lucky and blessed to have this weather to be out here going for a walk, and usually this time of year we're blizzardy and minus 30s.
I'll take it. I mean, any bit that makes it winter a little bit shorter is good. It's good for me.
According to Environment Canada, an upper ridge of high pressure is bringing in some warm Pacific air.
Temperatures are on the order of 10 plus degrees above normal for this time of year. So it is very quite anomalous, but it's not unprecedented.
With temperatures hovering around 0 degrees, there are some concerns to pay attention to. Due to a wide range of thawing and freezing, ice can quickly build up once it begins to cool down, making sidewalks and roads slick.
We've responded to multiple calls this year of people slipping and falling, and typically, and a lot of times in elderly communities. So that's why we talk about making sure you have safe traction. You're alert and you're aware when you're out, even just walking, let alone driving.
Regina Fire and Protective Services is also warning the public to stay off frozen bodies of water and asking parents to watch for snow forts built with roofs, as they can be unstable right now. Environment Canada says the mild temperatures are expected to last a couple more days, with strong winds forecasted to hit southern Saskatchewan before cooling off again later this week. Mick Favel, CTV News, Regina.
Sabine joins us for our first look at weather. And yes, Sabine, another above seasonal temperature, bit of melting down there.
Yeah, well, we're going to continue to see the above seasonal temperatures for another day or so, as we just heard in Mick's story. Then we will see those temperatures coming back down into the seasonal range. But the main story heading into tomorrow, Lee, are the winds, and we're already starting to see those wind warnings take into effect. They won't really take into effect until tomorrow morning, but just giving you a heads up essentially that we're going to see those winds gusting up to 100 kilometers an hour for much of southern Saskatchewan. The further north we go, we'll see those winds coming down to about 90 kilometers an hour. Regardless, they're still damaging winds, and along with that, we do have a little bit of snow on the way, which could cause possibly for some blowing snow advisories issued, but certainly visibility being a factor if you are doing any driving on the highways or even within the city. So something to keep in mind for tomorrow. Very strong wind gusts coming through. Temperatures, though, for at least another day or so, we will see them staying within the season or above seasonal range like we're seeing for our current temperatures right now. Wind chill, not a factor yet, but that will change. I'll have details in your full forecast. Lee?
Thanks, Sabine. Yeah, weather also on the minds of producers at the Western Canadian Crop Production Show, hoping that this early winter melt does not impact spring seeding. Keenan Soricon explains.
Bob Bahoon has farmed long enough to know what untimely weather could mean for his operation. After 4 consecutive days of above freezing temperatures, the Hafford area farmer fears this January melt might impact seeding.
It depends how quick the weather warms up. A fast melt will make the water run, or a slow melt it will still soak into the ground where it needs to be for our drier climates.
With winters becoming warmer and spring arriving earlier, what was once an afternoon of warm temperatures has become the full 5-day forecast in recent years.
Last year was the Looks like to be the third warmest year ever recorded, and the other two were within the past 3 years. So this is all part of that trend.
U of S hydrologist John Pomeroy says extended cold snaps of -30 to -40 throughout the winter are no longer the norm, and it's impacting farmland. A midwinter melt followed by cold temperatures could create a layer of ice above the soil, creating runoff instead of penetrating moisture for crop production. But replenishing sloughs and creeks has its own benefits.
Even the evaporation out of those ponds can help drive summer rainfall events and keep recycling to the atmosphere, and so it gets used by nature one way or the other.
Some farmers are optimistic the wet snow will make for favorable seeding conditions.
I think it'll make easier in the spring. The moisture might stay where it is. It seals off. It shouldn't blow anymore.
Pomeroy says a slow melt over many weeks is what farmers will be looking for to ease any concerns this weather system may have introduced. And that's exactly the type of conditions Bahoon has been imagining all winter long.
We'd like a nice slow melt and have a soak in versus a total runoff.
Keenan Sorokan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
New drone technology could change how search and rescue teams locate missing people faster and more accurately. And a Saskatoon company is at the forefront. Carla Shinkaruk has more.
We have people from all over the world contacting us and approaching us.
And what makes this Saskatoon company that popular is this drone. And it's not just any drone, because it's helping save lives.
It really helps save a lot of time and effort from people on the ground.
It can pinpoint a missing person who might be in a remote area with this unique silver portion. It locates someone with a cell phone as far as 35 kilometers away.
That acts as a mobile cell tower to connect to and identify cell phones for missing persons.
And one of Europe's leading search and rescue organizations from Sweden is now signed on to purchase 2 of these Saskatoon drones, which can operate in harsh weather, adding to the reasons our province just makes sense to design, develop, and manufacture it all right here.
Operating in Saskatoon and Saskatchewan does give us a very good benefit of having a lot of wide open space to go do flight testing and development.
There are about 15 staff here doing most of the work, with a BC location added. In total, the company has about 50 staff.
Questions or curiosities around why Saskatoon, and our answer was always, well, that's where we live. So we're building the company and the technology where we live.
Dragonfly actually started as a model plane business in 1998 and developed with increased drone technology, proving its effectiveness. The Saskatoon Police Service has been using drones for years. They tell us that they're primarily used in searches for missing persons, to document and investigate collision scenes, to assist the fire department with aerial views of fire scenes, and they're used by special teams to assist in locating suspects.
Drone industry is always evolving, always developing.
For this company, the sky's the limit, with plans for more advancement in drone technology. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Well, despite the above seasonal conditions, still various winter activities that people can take part in, and that includes cross-country skiing. Sierra de Souza Bott says the details on the more than 15 cross-country ski trails available in the city of Regina and the volunteers that prepare them.
Dave Hall takes pride in grooming the cross-country ski and walking trails at Kingsman Park. He's been volunteering with the Regina Ski Club since he retired 3 years ago.
I happen to enjoy winter. So, and I get a real kick out of people using the park and coming out and enjoying it.
Hall is part of a small group of volunteers who help maintain about 30 kilometers of trails within the city.
Even when there's no snow on the trails, volunteers come out and will push snow into the areas that we will set for trails, just trying to gather as much snow so there's no grass poking through anywhere.
Aiming to make winter more enjoyable for people in the community, the Regina Ski Club grooms more than 15 cross-country ski trails around the city, including Douglas Park, the Science Center, Joanne Goulet, and Sherman Park, as well as White Butte Trails.
For just over 90 years, the club has been in operation, and it's kind of changed and evolved over the years. It started actually as a downhill alpine club, and now we cover all types of cross-country skiing and downhill skiing and biathlon as well.
Currently sitting at 300 members, the club encourages people to try the outdoor activity, saying it helps make the winter season more tolerable.
It's a great way to get exercise. It's a great way, we're stuck with winter here, regardless of whether we like it or not. So, you can't change the winters, but you can change your activity.
Every Thursday, Regina Ski Club hosts a social ski night offering tips on technique. With the temperatures being above seasonal this week, those interested in hitting the trails are encouraged to check their website before heading out. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, Regina.
A longtime supporter of Regina's arts community has passed away. Lynn Goldman was involved with Regina Little Theatre for more than 75 years and helped blaze a trail for women in the broadcasting industry. Wayne Mantica has more.
Lynn Goldman first appeared in a Regina Little Theatre production in 1948, when she was 15 years old. Her connection to the organization continued until her passing late last week.
You name it, she did it. She was an actor, she was a director, she was an administrator, she was president, a fundraiser, just everything.
Lynn Goldman was one of the early employees of CKCK Television in the 1950s, where she joined Gene Freeman and Carol Gay Bell in blazing a trail for women in broadcasting. The trio remained close friends for life.
It wasn't the greatest time for women in broadcasting because women weren't in broadcasting, nor were they welcome in broadcasting. But the three of us fought our way up, and I think that we cleared the way for the women of today.
Lynn Goldman eventually joined the University of Regina, where she headed communications and later the certificates program. She was also an early donor to the Dark Hall Restoration Campaign.
A city without a theatre and a college is a backwater. The Methodists who built Regina College knew this, and so did Frank Dark.
Lynn Goldman was awarded a Doctor of Laws degree by the university and was recipient of the Saskatchewan Order of Merit.
She loved Regina and Saskatchewan, and she did whatever she could in whatever manner to make sure that Saskatchewan was a great place to live.
Lynn Goldman's legacy of supporting Regina's arts community will continue for years to come. Just last week, she created an award at the Mackenzie Art Gallery in memory of her brother. It will provide assistance and fund exhibitions by artists at the midpoint of their careers. Wayne Mantica, CTV News, Regina.
After the break, the Prime Minister lands in China to discuss trade and tariffs. And Francois Legault is stepping down as Quebec Premier.
Tonight, the spouse of Canada's worst mass killer breaks her silence.
And I'm thinking his paranoia, like he's getting crazy at this point.
Shocking details of his spiral before the rampage and how she was also terrorized. Tonight on CTV National News and watch on Crave.
It's being called a historic moment. A Canadian Prime Minister back on Chinese soil for the first time in more than a decade. Trade, energy, and agriculture with tariffs, something Canadians are hoping for movement on. Annie Bergeron-Oliver has more on what's going to be discussed.
Long ago that Canada called China a disruptive power. Now the language has softened as Prime Minister Mark Carney's government looks to bring stability back to a frigid diplomatic relationship.
This is a new government with a new Prime Minister, a new foreign policy. In this moment of economic stress for our country, it is necessary for us to diversify our trading partners.
And Carney has made it clear that rethinking includes increasing non-U.S. exports through deeper partnerships with countries like China. And over the next few days, the Prime Minister will be pitching Canada to business and government leaders as a place to invest.
I think that this was a really important opportunity to reset the relationship at a time when we're obviously dealing with a much tougher United States and where our Canadian national interests have to be rethought.
A key area of debate and likely disagreement, Canadian tariffs on Chinese electric vehicles and Chinese tariffs on Canadian canola products. Government officials say it's reasonable to expect progress on so-called trade irritants, but the definitive removal of tariffs is unlikely.
Our ultimate goal is to restore market access to China, have more smoother, predictable trade with our number 2 export market. And so we're looking for signs of progress and resolution on that front.
While that resolution may not happen, Ottawa is framing this business visit to Beijing as a stepping stone on a larger plan to normalize relationships and help reopen lines of communications. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Beijing.
The province of Quebec is looking for a new leader after Premier François Legault announced he is stepping down.
For the good of my party, and especially for the good of Quebec, I am announcing today that I will be resigning my position as the Premier of Quebec.
Legault has been Premier since 2018. The Premier's party has seen a dramatic tumble in the polls ahead of an election that is set for this fall. Legault says he will stay on as Premier until his party chooses a new leader. High-stakes meeting at the White House today. Officials from Denmark and Greenland sat down with Vice President J.D. Vance and Secretary of State Marco Rubio. At issue, President Donald Trump's desire to take over the Danish territory. CTV's Joy Malbin has more from Washington.
After months of fielding threats, Denmark ramped up its military presence in Greenland with the help of its NATO neighbors, Air Force, Navy, and Sweden sending in troops, part of a promise to beef up Arctic defense. And to counter President Donald Trump's threats, for months Trump insisted the mineral-rich island is vital to U.S. national security, posting, "It is vital for the Golden Dome that we are building," referring to his missile defense system. If we don't, Russia or China will, and that is not going to happen. The White House mocking what it calls Greenland's defenses, posting this image of sled dogs.
It is not easy to think innovative about solutions when you wake up every morning to different threats.
We're going to see what happens, but we need it.
After their White House meeting, the Danish minister insists China and Russia are not immediate threats, but will look for ways to accommodate Trump's concerns.
Of course, we share, to some extent, his concerns. There is definitely a new security situation in the Arctic and the high north.
Adding, it's totally unacceptable not to respect Greenland's sovereignty and Trump's ultimatums. Well, they're not going over well with Greenlanders.
The United States will try to buy Greenland or they will invade it.
I'm afraid that he will destroy the NATO alliance and he threatens our kingdom and the Greenlanders, and I really, really don't like that.
The delegation says it will meet with the Trump administration again in hopes of strengthening cooperation, but with one big red line: as allies and not owned by the United States. Joy Malbin, CTV News, Washington.
In Gaza, the United States says the ceasefire deal it helped broker is now moving on to its next phase. President Trump's envoy to the region shared the news in a post on X today. Steve Witkoff noted that Phase 2 established a new Palestinian-led committee to govern Gaza. He also said the U.S. expects Hamas militants to disarm under the terms of the deal. The group said it was ready to discuss the issue. While the first phase of the deal saw humanitarian aid let into Gaza and the release of October 7th hostages, both Israel and Hamas have accused each other of repeated ceasefire violations. Coming up, the story of how a dog was able to find his way back home months after being lost.
We now know who will represent Saskatchewan at the Scotties. Thursday on Your Morning, we're in conversation with Pinnacle champ Jolene Campbell as her rink gets ready for Mississauga.
Welcome back. It's that control room. They do funny things and then I laugh and you can't hear it. Anyways, let's get right into your forecast for what we can expect heading into the rest of this week and the weekend. I got one word, and it's windy. Today, we did see an above seasonal day and above zero day for many parts of the province, including right here in Regina. Currently, we're sitting at 2 degrees, and that was the warmest we got to today. late this afternoon. Didn't really have to incorporate the wind chill values because there wasn't any wind chill value. Winds are sitting at 15 kilometers an hour, and that's the story as we head into tomorrow. We're seeing a number of warnings issued for southern Saskatchewan, and that essentially is Environment and Climate Change Canada letting us know that we'll see wind speeds gusting up to 100 kilometers an hour tomorrow. This warning is in effect from tomorrow morning into the afternoon. Could see it possibly into the early evening tomorrow as well. So wind gusts. Along with that, we do have some snow on the way, and I'll show you that coming up in our tracker here of what we can expect. But with the combination of the two, certainly could expect your visibility to not be so great. This morning we did have a number of fog warnings that were issued, then lifted, and then issued again, and the visibility was quite poor at certain parts of the province this morning as well. Tomorrow could be a different story with blowing snow. So something to keep in mind if you do need to be traveling, especially as our week is coming to an end and we're heading into the weekend. Tomorrow is the most that we'll be seeing with the snow. I'll show you what we can expect for snowfall totals as well. But here's a look at what we're looking at. It's not until tomorrow morning that we start to see more of that snow arrive, starting in the southwest there for Maple Creek, Swift Current. And then we'll just continue to see pockets of snow throughout parts of central southern Saskatchewan. You can see by late afternoon areas around Saskatoon, Prince Albert, Wynyard, even down into Estevan and Assiniboia. And yes, Regina will be getting that snow as well in the afternoon and continuing into the evening. But like I said, the winds are expected to be quite high throughout the day as well. So that snow should clear as we head into Friday morning, with just a little left there along the border between Saskatchewan and Manitoba around the Yorkton area. And then we'll be left with mostly cloudy conditions. The southwest could still see a little bit more of that flurries and some scattered flurries throughout parts of Friday. And then you'll start to see conditions clear as we head into the weekend. But the wind will not be gone for the weekend, and you'll see that coming up in just a second. But between now into Friday morning, this is what we could expect for snowfall totals. So we're still seeing up to about 4 centimeters of snow in many parts of southern Saskatchewan. Regina could see up to 3, Moose Jaw up to 1, Maple Creek not really seeing so much, but that could change as we head into Saturday, where we could start to see a little bit more with that other system that's going to be bringing more snow into the southwest. So that's something to keep in mind. Other than that, if we're heading into tomorrow wanting to know what the temperatures are looking like, we're still going to see an above seasonal day. You can see many areas in the north seeing above 0 temperatures, along with North Battleford +3, 0 and snow for Saskatoon tomorrow, 2 and flurries for Yorkton. The southwest still above 0, 2 degrees for Maple Creek, 1 for Swift Current, Moose Jaw snow and +2, and 2 for Assiniboia and Estevan as well, with a mix of sun and cloud. Weyburn 3 degrees and a mix of sun and cloud for Yorkton. For Regina tonight, -1, seeing some cloud cover tonight, winds at 20 kilometers an hour. Tomorrow, 0 is our expected daytime high, with winds anywhere between 65 to 80 kilometer an hour. Again, we could possibly see some wind gusts picking up even higher than that. But here's a look at your next 7 days. So we are back into seasonal range by Friday, mostly cloudy, winds still up to 60 with -10 as a daytime high. Even the lows back into the seasonal range of -23. By Saturday, -9, a mix of sun and cloud, winds at 35. But then by Sunday, we are going to see those wind gusts return again up to 60 kilometers an hour. Mostly cloudy, -11. Yeah, we're back into that seasonal range. So hopefully you got a chance to enjoy all those beautiful temperatures over the last week or so. -12 on Monday, by Tuesday -8, and by Wednesday -7 and mainly sunny. So there's still sunshine in the forecast. It's the temperatures that are going to be going back into that seasonal range. So again, the good news, we're not seeing extreme cold temperatures, just back into seasonal range.
And just that wind watch out for tomorrow. Mix that with a little bit of snow. You never know, visibility could be
well, and with the slush that we've had today, like we're going to see some probably slick roads out there for sure.
Yes, don't forget the sloosh.
Yes.
Thanks, Sabine. It's a remarkable story of hope and survival. A beloved dog is back home with its Vancouver family after spending nearly 2 months lost in the backcountry on its own. Martin McMahon has more.
This is the moment Bammy, a rescue dog who went missing, was reunited with her owners over the weekend.
Some people think dog is just pet or just dog. Dog is dog, but I'm not. I don't agree. Many people say dog or pet is family. Yes, I totally agree.
Bammy, a 4-year-old Korean Jindo, spent 54 days alone on the North Shore after breaking free from her leash and collar during a walk in November. Her owners hired pet searchers to find her, and while there were sightings, capturing her was a challenge.
What made Bambi so tricky was that she wouldn't stick to an area for more than a day. And so we had multiple cameras out, we had traps set for her, and we just couldn't get them in the right spots because she would never be in the same area.
As the weeks dragged on, owner Johan Kim says some people told him it was unlikely the dog was still alive, but he kept hope, even as video showed her dramatic weight loss.
I believe the Jindo, especially Bami, especially Jindo, this instinct's really good survival in the forest.
Then, after weeks of close calls and brief glimpses of Bambi on camera, a breakthrough. Mills and his pet searchers colleague Julia were tipped off that the dog had been spotted near Kenneth Gordon Maplewood School. After arriving, they were able to spot Bambi using a drone, eventually reuniting her with her owners.
It was a great search and stressful at times, but we're super happy with the outcome and that she's back home.
Also relieved, Bambi's owners who refused to accept their dog was gone for good.
Do not never ever give up to find the pet.
Mommy.
An example that when there's hope, there's always a chance. Martin McMahon, CTV News.
Still ahead, the CFL commissioner discusses the latest rule recommendations, which includes no more ties.
Wardrobe consideration in part by Colin O'Brien Men's Shop.
CFL Commissioner Stuart Johnson addressed the media today discussing some of the proposals made by the Rules Committee during this week's CFL winter meetings. Among the recommendations, returning the continuous 35-second play clock to 20 seconds for the final 3 minutes, ensuring no lead is safe. If a team kicks the football through the end zone or hits the uprights, then the other team will start with the ball on their own 40-yard line. The replay center will only jump in for clear and obvious missed calls by the refs or any coach's challenges, and there will be no longer ties. If there is no winner after the 2 mini games, the game continues with a new challenge.
Under a new format, then each team would get one shot at what we would call a 2-point conversion, or just the 2-point format where you're on the 3-yard line and you've got to get it into the end zone. Team A tries. If they're successful, Team B tries. If they're successful, you go again. If Team B is unsuccessful, then the game is over and Team A wins. Now, there are some details we still need to work out, and that'll happen over these next couple of months before ultimately we make the final recommendation to the board.
Now, all recommendations made this week, yes, will still need approval by the Board of Governors to be considered an official change. Winter Olympics just 3 weeks away. Athletes from across Canada preparing to showcase their skills, including one Saskatchewan-born hockey star who's hoping to bring home her second Olympic gold medal. Ellie Mandrick has more.
Nearly 4 years ago, Emily Clark brought an Olympic gold medal home to Saskatoon, and now she's planning to do it again.
Everyone knows hockey in Canada. You're going for gold every time. Every year, maybe the motivator is slightly different, and you just use whatever you need to be at your best. But obviously winning, competing, representing our country and our team, there's no shortage of motivation.
The Saskatoon-born hockey superstar is gearing up to represent Canada at the Olympics for a third time in Milano Cortina. Clark has been playing hockey since she was 3, and there's been a lot of growth in the world of women's hockey since then.
Lots of us were motivated by wanting to play on Team Canada, and we only got to see that every 4 years. So now, for young girls and boys to get to see women in sport so often, so accessible, so freely, I think that makes a massive difference.
Emily Clark, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan.
With more than 800 girls playing hockey in the Saskatoon Comets Female Hockey League, those involved say the Saskatchewan representation Clark brings to an international stage can make a big difference for aspiring hockey players.
As these new leagues get more popular and we start to see more products from our local communities make these leagues, I think it'll just fuel the fire that girls have to achieve something great.
Clark says that support from her hometown goes a long way.
I'm so proud to be from Saskatoon, and I feel the love. I see the messages. I'm bad at replying to my own family, so please don't take it personal if you send me a message and I don't get back to you. But No, just that it's felt and it's appreciated and never taken for granted.
Clark and the rest of Team Canada will be heading overseas soon with opening ceremonies for the Mullet Cortina Olympic Winter Games scheduled to take place on February 6th. Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
WHL tonight, the Regina Pats host the Swift Current Broncos at the Brand Center. The Pats currently holding on to the final playoff spot in the East Conference by 1 point. The Broncos, last in the league, have lost 19 of their last 20.
Batted around a couple of skates. Now Ben Miller carries in. Back down to McDonough. Centered. Save made. Rebound. They score.
As for the Moose Jaw Warriors, they were in Portland last night where the Winterhawks held them off the score sheet with a 5-0 win. Kyle McDonough had 3 points in the victory. The Warriors continue their U.S. road trip tonight in Everett against the league-leading Silvertips. Still ahead, Prince Albert is discussing having funds on reserve for police.
Welcome back to your rural forecast. Heading into tomorrow, we'll continue to see those above seasonal, above zero temperatures across the province tomorrow, but we'll start to see the winds picking up and more cloud cover, and even a little snow is expected in the forecast tomorrow. You can see it as we take a look. Hudson Bay, 3 degrees tomorrow, snow, 1 for Wynyard, and snow 2 for Spiritwood, expecting snow. And many other areas still seeing sunshine. 3 degrees for Meadow Lake with a mix of sun and cloud, 2 for Melfort, Outlook, and Lloydminster seeing a mix of sun and cloud. And Watrous seeing a little bit of sunshine, but also some snow, and 0 is the expected high. When we get closer to the southern border, basically we're seeing the exact same temperatures. 1 degree for Leader with a mix of sun and cloud. East End Cypress expecting some snow, along with Broadview. Both 1 degree is the expected high. Assiniboia +2, and Lumsden and Pilot Butte 0, and mostly cloudy conditions. If we take a closer look at Carnduff, where internet speeds up to 1 gig are available through SaskTel. Tomorrow, expecting a daytime high of 1 degree, mix of sun and cloud, but a wind chill of -7. Winds still in that wind warning range, so winds picking up to about 75 kilometers an hour. With the wind chill tomorrow night, the temperature will drop to -11 with a wind chill of -23.
Prince Albert City Council is discussing a possible public safety reserve to support police work through community fundraising. The proposed reserve would be used to support policing efforts. City councillors say local businesses have expressed interest in the idea. In a letter, the Prince Albert Board of Police Commissioners said while it couldn't participate in creating, privately stated that while the police service and the board cannot participate in the creation or promotion of a privately funded reserve, it may be able to access reserve funds through a transparent application process.
It came up during budget time, and then of course that went back to the police commission, and they forwarded off a letter to us, and now we've asked administration to come up with some options that could be possible.
The matter is to be examined by the city's Financial Services Department. Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew is calling on Ontario Premier Doug Ford to keep selling Crown Royal. Ford pulled the popular Canadian whiskey from store shelves in his province after maker Diageo announced it would move its Ontario bottling plant to the U.S. But as CTV's Jeff Keel tells us, there's another Crown Royal plant in Manitoba, and that has people there worried.
Premier Wab Kinew took a tour of the Diageo plant in Gimli, where Crown Royal is made, to show support for workers while sending a message to his Ontario counterpart.
I'm here in Gimli because I'm standing up for people's jobs. I am concerned for people's jobs here.
Kinew is calling on Ontario Premier Doug Ford to keep the popular whiskey on LCBO shelves.
You are going to hurt Canadian jobs. You're going to hurt Manitoba jobs if you follow through with this action. And so I've asked him to reconsider.
Last week, Ford said he was moving ahead with his plan to remove Crown Royal from the government-run stores in Ontario after Diageo decided to relocate a bottling plant from Ontario to the U.S. And even after a phone discussion with Kinew on Tuesday, it appears Ford is not budging.
As sure as I'm talking to you, that Crown Royal is coming off the shelves.
Well, I think that's ridiculous on his part. I mean, what is he trying to prove with it?
Ontario is one of the largest buyers of alcohol on the planet, so it has people in Gimli worried about what this could mean for the local facility.
The plant means a lot to this town, a lot of jobs.
Ford is of the belief Diageo will move all operations south of the border. Canoe says the company has told the province they are staying put in Gimli.
We called Diageo and said, are you still committed to Gimli? And they said, yes, we'll give you the verbal reassurance that we're committed to our Gimli employees.
And to prove that commitment, the province says Diageo is paying for a $19 million transmission line so it can switch from natural gas boilers to an electric system at the plant. Jeff Keel, CTV News, Gimli.
80 cents to $568, 2 cents per ton, while the futures price is down $2.60 to $628.30 per ton. Amber Durum wheat stayed the same, $274.92 per ton, while red spring wheat is down 25 cents to $251.43 per ton. Feed barley, $213.59 per ton, while flax is $626.04 per ton. Those prices courtesy of Bunge. Stock markets, the TSX was up 46 points. The Dow Jones went down by 42 points. The Canadian dollar, it went nowhere, stayed the same, 72.03 cents US. On the commodity front, gold up $40.06. West Texas Intermediate crude up 95 cents. And Western Canadian Select crude was up $1.49. So, did that jump change prices? Nope, so far no change. You're commonly sitting right now at $1.26.9 cents per liter.
Chorus Entertainment reporting a loss of $11 million in its latest quarter. That's compared to a profit of about $12 million a year ago. The company is in the middle of restructuring, with its TV and radio businesses struggling. It's hoping to reduce debt by more than $500 million. A day after the U.S. president called Kuzma irrelevant, the CEO of Ford says the North American free trade deal is critical. Jim Farley pointed to the integrated system that has vehicles crisscrossing countries as they get built, saying certainty in regulations would help. The trade agreement is up for review this year. Luxury retailer Saks is seeking bankruptcy protection. In a court filing, the private company says it owes at least $3.4 billion U.S. Part of the debt comes from taking over Neiman Marcus about a year ago. Saks says its stores, which includes Saks off Fifth, will remain open as it works through the process. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Coming up tonight, we've got The Masked Singer at 7 o'clock, followed by Fear Factor.
What?
House of Fear. Wonder if it's the same as the Fear Factor
Like
back in the day. Yeah, jinx. Shark Tank at 9, Shifting Gears at 10, and E-Talk 10:30, and then your news at 11 and 11:30. Okay, Lego is interlocking with the Pokemon universe.
The toy giant has unveiled its first ever line of Pokemon sets, marking a major crossover between two of the largest play brands in the world. The first collection will debut on February 27th and is inspired by characters throughout Pokemon's 3-decade history. Lee is familiar with it. The initial rollout will feature 5 fan favorite characters. I know none of them.
Venusaur. Yep.
Really? Where they at?
Charizard.
Well, a mullet contest at the Pennsylvania Farm Show is quite the sight to behold.
Hundreds turned out Monday at the Pennsylvania Farm Show's complex main hall as kids, teens, adults showed off their carefully designed mullets, all taking their shot at the championship crown. It's often referred to as business in the front, party in the back. The enduring hairstyle is kind of a salute to hockey players and hair metal bands. In addition to winners in age categories, there is a Flow of Freedom Award that goes to the most patriotic participant. And a Best in Grow, kind of like Best in Show, is awarded to the winner of all categories.
Apparently this style is back due to the very popular show, Heated Rivalry.
But there is, I've seen a few kids with mullets out there.
Said, look, maybe I should get a mullet. No?